Nobody saw it coming. Not the cameras, not the crew, not even the cast who thought they'd seen it all. But last night, in a twist so violent and unthinkable, it left fans gasping. Young Jock and Kirk Frost, two men who've known each other for years, who've sat at the same tables, laughed in the same circles, shared the same messy scandals, turned from brothers into bitter enemies. And the fallout. Kirk Frost rushed to the hospital after an explosive attack that has already been called the ugliest moment in love and hip-hop history. The details are messy, conflicting, and heartbreaking. Some eyewitnesses say Jock snapped after being pushed too far. Others insist it was Kirk who crossed the line first, exposing secrets Jock was desperate to keep hidden. What nobody can deny is the chaos that followed, fists flying, glasses shattering, and Rasheeda screaming as her husband collapsed in front of rolling cameras. The scene was pure pandemonium. Cast members scrambling to pull Jock off Kirk, security swarming in too late, and Rasheeda, her face streaked with tears, begging producers to stop filming as paramedics rushed her husband onto a stretcher. The footage is real. The fallout is undeniable. And the question tearing through social media right now is simple. How did two men who called each other family let it come to this? Stay locked in, because what happened behind the scenes after Kirk hit that hospital bed is even darker. It started like any other filming night. The cast gathered for what was supposed to be nothing more than a messy but manageable sit-down. Drinks on the table, cameras rolling, producers circling with nervous smiles, and that classic love and hip-hop tension buzzing in the air. But behind those polite greetings and half-hearted toasts, the atmosphere was ready to combust. Jock had been simmering for weeks, whispering in confessionals about betrayal, about secrets Kirk was hiding. Kirk, on the other hand, had been brushing Jock off with his usual smug calm, acting like nothing could rattle him. That night, their clash reached the point of no return. At first, it was words. Jock leaned across the table, his voice low but venomous. "You've been smiling in my face, bro, but I know what you did." The room went quiet. Even the background chatter died down as everyone's heads snapped toward them. Kirk, unfazed, shot back with a smirk. "You need to relax, Jock. You're acting out like a kid right now. Handle your business. Don't project on me." That line was the spark. Jock slammed his glass down so hard, liquid splashed across the table. His voice rose, shaking with rage. "Don't you dare play me like that! You've been plotting behind my back, running your mouth, trying to tear me down while calling yourself my brother." Rasheeda tried to intervene, her voice cutting in, trembling but firm. "Y'all need to stop this right now. This ain't it." But Jock wasn't listening. He stood towering over Kirk, finger jabbing in the air. The cameras caught everything, the veins bulging in his neck, the sweat glistening on his forehead, the fire in his eyes. Kirk pushed his chair back slowly, standing to meet him. His voice was cool, almost taunting. "You really want to do this here? In front of everybody? You are not built for this, Jock. Calm down before you embarrass yourself." The room froze. Bambi covered her mouth. Spice widened her eyes. Security shifted closer, sensing the storm. And then, it happened. Jock lunged. Fists flying, chairs scraping, drinks spilling. The cast screamed, scrambling to get out of the way as Jock swung on Kirk with a fury nobody had ever seen before. The first hit landed hard, sending Kirk stumbling into the corner of the table. Glass shattered, the sound slicing through the chaos. Jock kept swinging, his voice a mix of curses and accusations. "You betrayed me. You crossed the line." Security rushed in, trying to pull Jock back, but he shoved them off, adrenaline giving him the strength of 10 men. Kirk tried to defend himself, but Jock's rage was overwhelming. Then came the moment that silenced everything. Jock's fist connected with Kirk's jaw, sending him crashing to the floor. The thud echoed through the venue. Rasheeda screamed, her voice piercing the chaos. "Stop. Stop. He's not moving." The cameras kept rolling, catching every tear, every frantic movement. Rasheeda dropped to her knees beside Kirk, cradling his head, sobbing uncontrollably. Castmates huddled around her, some yelling at Jock, others shouting for medics. Spice was seen on footage yelling, "Turn the cameras off. This ain't for TV no more." But the producers, they didn't budge. This was chaos gold, and they knew it. Paramedics arrived within minutes, rushing past screaming cast members to get to Kirk. His body lay limp, his face pale as Rasheeda clutched his hand and begged him to open his eyes. "Baby, please, don't do this to me. Please, get up." The room was drenched in fear. Even Jock, pulled back and restrained by security, looked stunned at what he had done. His chest heaved, eyes wild, but somewhere in there, regret flickered. The stretcher rolled in, and cameras captured the devastating image of Kirk being lifted, his head supported, his body strapped down. Rasheeda followed, tears streaking down her face, mascara smudged. Her cries echoing through the venue. "That's my husband. Y'all don't understand, that's my family." Outside, the paparazzi had already swarmed, tipped off the moment sirens blared. Photos of Kirk on the stretcher, Rasheeda holding his hand. Jock being escorted out in handcuffs by security. They hit social media before the ambulance even pulled away. Within minutes, hashtags exploded. Hashtag pray for Kirk. Hashtag JOC snaps. Hashtag justice for RASHIDA. Twitter turned into a war zone. Fans divided between shock, anger, and disbelief. Inside the ambulance, Rasheeda's breakdown continued. Insiders leaked that she begged Kirk to keep fighting, whispering through tears, "We've been through too much for it to end like this. You're stronger than this. Please, stay with me." The paramedics worked frantically, checking his vitals, applying oxygen, and radioing updates to the hospital. The ride felt like a lifetime. Meanwhile, Jock was escorted to a separate vehicle. Though not arrested, he was held by producers and security, his face buried in his hands. Eyewitnesses claim he muttered repeatedly, "I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean to take it that far." But the damage was done. His reputation, his relationships, and possibly his career, shattered in one night. At the hospital, Rasheeda sat in the waiting room, surrounded by cameras and castmates trying to comfort her. She sobbed uncontrollably, shaking, whispering over and over. Why did this happen? Why him? A producer reportedly tried to console her, but she snapped. "Y'all wanted this. Y'all kept pushing the drama, and now look." The accusation hit hard. Was this just another storyline gone too far? Or had Jock truly lost control? The press frenzy outside the hospital was unbearable. Reporters shoved microphones into Rasheeda's face as she walked in and out. Fans gathered with signs, some praying, others chanting for Jock to be removed from the show. The tension was unbearable, and as Kirk lay unconscious in a hospital bed, the internet speculated wildly. Some claimed Jock snapped after learning Kirk had been talking to producers about cutting him from future episodes. Others whispered about money, betrayal, or even personal secrets between the two men that had never seen the light of day. One anonymous tweet that went viral read, "This wasn't just a fight. This was revenge years in the making." By dawn, blogs had already declared it the darkest night in love and hip-hop history. Rasheeda's face, streaked with tears, appeared on every headline. Rasheeda breaks down after husband hospitalized in Jock attack. Jock's mugshot-like photos trended side by side with Kirk's stretcher images, smiling in my face while plotting against me. He doesn't deserve anything he got. The caption read, "Insider says this was recorded just hours before the fight." The internet exploded. Fans screamed that Jock had premeditated the attack, while his defenders argued it was just a heated rant taken out of context. But then came the texts. Screenshots allegedly from Jock's phone surfaced, showing messages to an unknown contact. One read, "I'm done letting him play me on camera. Tonight I'm exposing everything." Another, "If he talks about me again, I'll put my hands on him." Whether real or fake, the damage was devastating. Jock wasn't just a man who snapped, he was now painted as a man who planned to. Meanwhile, Rasheeda sat in a hospital waiting room, her face blotchy from hours of tears. surrounded by castmates who tried their best to comfort her. Cameras caught her whispering through sobs, "I can't lose him. I can't lose my husband like this. We've been through too much." She clutched her phone, ignoring the flood of calls and messages pouring in. Her only focus on whether Kirk would wake up. When he finally did, groggy, bruised, but alive, Rasheeda broke down all over again, clutching his hand and sobbing into his chest. Insiders claim Kirk's first words were, "Don't let them see me like this." But it was already too late. The whole world had. And while Rasheeda prayed for healing, Jock was spiraling in the opposite direction. Denied entry into the hospital, he instead went live from his car, his face twisted with anger and regret. Y'all only see what they want you to see. They push a narrative. Kirk ain't innocent, and y'all gonna find out why. His words were shaky, defensive, but dangerous. It wasn't just a denial. It was a threat of more secrets to come. Within hours, Jock's cryptic live album was clipped, remixed, and blasted across TikTok. Fans dissected every syllable. What did he mean by "Kirk ain't innocent"? What was he holding back? And could there really be more to this fight than jealousy and betrayal? That's when another bombshell landed. A gossip site published leaked emails allegedly between Kirk and producers discussing Jock's future on the show. One line read, "We may need to phase Jock out. His storylines aren't strong enough. Focus on Kirk and Rasheeda's marriage angle." Fans connected the dots instantly. Had Jock found out about this plan? Was his rage fueled by the idea that Kirk was scheming with producers to cut him out of the show entirely? Twitter lit up with theories. So Jock almost ended a man's life over camera time. One user wrote, racking up 80,000 likes. Another countered, if Kirk was plotting with producers behind his back. Jock had every right to be mad, but not like that. The fandom fractured into warring camps, hashtag Team Kirk, hashtag Team Jock, and a growing chorus of hashtag Pray For, RASHIDA. Meanwhile, Rasheeda's pain became the emotional center of the story. Paparazzi captured her leaving the hospital late at night. Visibly exhausted, breaking down as she whispered to a friend, "He's my husband, my partner, my everything. And Jock was supposed to be our friend." Those words hit the blogs within hours, turning Rasheeda into the sympathetic face of the scandal. Fans rallied behind her, calling her the strongest woman in reality TV, flooding her comments with prayers and support. But the drama wasn't done, because Jock's camp clapped back. A burner Twitter account allegedly tied to one of his close friends posted screenshots of conversations where Kirk appeared to badmouth Jock. "He's a clown. He ain't on my level. VH1 knows who the real star is." The account claimed these texts were the real reason Jock exploded. And if true, it painted Kirk in a completely different light. The back and forth spiraled out of control. Every hour, new receipts surfaced, some clearly fake, others chillingly real. Voice notes, DMs, contracts, even whispers of money disputes. Jock's defenders insisted he was being pushed out, manipulated, and betrayed by both Kirk and the network. Kirk's defenders countered that nothing could justify nearly putting a man in the hospital. And in the middle of it all, Rasheeda. In one heartbreaking, leaked clip, she sat in her car outside the hospital, talking to a friend on the phone. "I've had to deal with infidelity, embarrassment, and public humiliation. But this, seeing him laid out fighting for his life because of somebody we called family, this is breaking me." Her voice cracked, her sobs audible, and fans flooded her comments with love. But Jock wasn't done talking. He doubled down with another late night live, this time more direct. "Kirk ain't no saint. Y'all think he's this perfect husband? Ask him about the deals he's been making behind Rasheeda's back. Ask him about the stuff he doesn't want y'all to know." His words set the internet ablaze. Was he bluffing, or did Jock really have dirt on Kirk that could flip the narrative upside down? Blogs began teasing that Jock had files alleged evidence of Kirk's secret dealings, maybe even affairs. Fans speculated wildly, some convinced Jock was bluffing to save his image. Others certain he was about to unleash the kind of bombshell that would devastate Rasheeda all over again. Meanwhile, Hospital insiders leaked updates. Kirk was stable, but doctors were monitoring him closely for complications. Rasheeda, by his side the entire time, was reportedly begging producers to keep cameras away, saying, "This is real life, not a storyline." But of course the cameras kept rolling. The internet braced itself. Because with every leak, every cryptic live, and every whispered rumor, it became clear the attack wasn't the climax. It was just the beginning of a war that could destroy friendships, marriages, and careers. And just when the frenzy reached a fever pitch, another leak dropped. A short, blurry video clip of Jock in an intense argument with an unknown man days before the fight. His voice rang out furious. "If Kirk doesn't stop, I'm exposing him. I don't care what happens." The video cut off, but it was enough to send fans into a full meltdown. The question wasn't just why Jock attacked Kirk. It was what Kirk was hiding and whether Jock was about to reveal it. The leaks had already turned social media into a war zone. But nothing could prepare the world for what Jock dropped next. Late on a Sunday night, with over 50,000 people tuned into his Instagram Live, Jock sat in a dimly lit room, his face raw and tired, clutching his phone like it was his last weapon. He leaned into the camera and said the words that detonated the entire franchise. "Since everybody is painting me as the villain, fine. But y'all need to know, Kirk ain't innocent. I got the receipts. And when I show them, Rasheeda's gonna see she's been crying for a man who's been lying to her face." The chat went insane. Thousands of comments flew across the screen. "Show the receipts. He's bluffing. Drop them now." Jock smirked, then slowly scrolled through his phone. The first bombshell. A series of screenshots allegedly between Kirk and a woman identified only as T. The messages were flirtatious, suggestive, undeniable. One read, "Don't worry, Rasheeda. Don't check my phone like that." Another, "You know you're my real piece away from all this drama." The chat exploded with gasps, crying emojis, and snake emojis. Jock's voice cracked as he said, "This the man y'all defending? Is this the man y'all calling loyal? Please." But it didn't stop there. Jock then played an audio recording. A muffled voice, allegedly Kirk's, saying, "They're gonna think I'm with Rasheeda forever. But you know where my heart is." The sound was grainy, but the resemblance. The network scrambled, unsure if airing the footage would destroy the franchise or send ratings through the roof. But the darkest moment came when Rasheeda finally spoke. In a heartbreaking clip from the hospital waiting area, tears streaming down her face, she whispered, "I stood by him through everything. Cheating, humiliation, disrespect. I forgave him. But this, watching him almost die, then finding out he wasn't even loyal. I don't even know who my husband is anymore." Fans flooded her comments with prayers, but the pain in her eyes was undeniable. Meanwhile, Jock's crusade wasn't slowing down. He teased that he had more, hinting at financial secrets and shady deals Kirk had allegedly hidden from Rasheeda. Asterisk, "This ain't just about women," Jock said on Live. "This is about betrayal on every level. Money, loyalty, brotherhood. He played me and he played her." Blogs began whispering that Jock had a flash drive, a stash of documents proving Kirk had been secretly moving money without Rasheeda's knowledge. Rumors of hidden accounts, fake contracts, and betrayal on a business level sent fans into a frenzy. If true, it wasn't just a marriage issue. It was an empire-crumbling dot. The fandom grew vicious. Team Jock argued he was exposing the truth no matter how messy. Team Kirk called him a snake using violence and secrets to destroy a man already in the hospital. And Rasheeda's supporters just begged for her to walk away, chanting, "Protect Rasheeda at all costs." As days passed, the chaos refused to die. More clips leaked, alleged phone calls, mysterious dimes. Even a blurry photo of Kirk at dinner with a woman fans swore wasn't Rasheeda. Every leak added fuel to the fire, leaving Rasheeda more broken, Jock more defiant, and Kirk more vilified. Then came the cliffhanger nobody saw coming. At the end of the week, an anonymous account posted a chilling message. The receipts Jock dropped ain't even half of it. There's a video. And when it drops, careers are done. Fans lost their minds. What video? Who was in it? Was it proof of Kirk's betrayal, Jock's lies, or something even darker? The internet froze, waiting for the next explosion. Meanwhile, Rasheeda disappeared from social media, her silence more powerful than any post. Jock stayed loud, Kirk stayed weak. And the fandom braced for the storm of all storms, because one thing was clear. The hospital attack wasn't the end of this story. It was the trigger. And the real receipts, the ones whispered about but not yet seen, could bury more than just Kirk and Jock. They could collapse the entire love and hip-hop empire. And there you have it, the fight that sent Kirk to the hospital. Jock's shocking confession, the receipts that shook Rasheeda to her core. And now the chilling whispers of a video that could end careers in one drop. This isn't just another messy love and hip-hop moment. This is betrayal, heartbreak, and destruction playing out in real time. And trust me, the storm hasn't even reached its peak. If you've been locked in, if your jaw dropped even once tonight, you cannot just scroll away. Smash that like button right now. Every single click makes sure this story keeps breaking wide open. And don't just lurk in the shadows, get loud in the comments. Are you Team Jock, exposing the truth no matter how messy? Team Kirk, standing by a man who swears it's all fake? Or Team Rasheeda, the queen who deserves so much better after years of pain? I want to hear your theories, your predictions, your wildest takes, because this conversation is bigger than just TV, and listen carefully. Hit subscribe and turn on that notification bell like your life depends on it. Because when that mysterious video drops, and trust me, it will, you don't want to be the one playing catch-up while the entire internet explodes. This isn't entertainment anymore. This is survival, legacy, and truth burning in the spotlight. Stay tuned. The next twist could be the one that changes everything.